Sorry, the wind's quite strong. Oh, watch out there. Let's move that. Martha? Harper. Sorry about that. Harper is wondering, do big cats go crazy over catnip like domestic cats? Woo! That was close. You nearly got to see the sky as Fergus nearly tripped onto his bottom. So Harper, no. We have seen certain cats, like certain plant species, that are quite... These Franklins. Some alarm over there, now some alarm over there. But I think that one's alarming from people, because that's literally almost outside the final control. But, sorry Harper about that. They don't. They go mad for Chanel number 5. And I'm not even joking. I'm being 100% dead serious. Big cats, leopards in particular, go nuts for Chanel number 5. True story. So no, they do certain plant species like khaki weed. I have seen Nkanyeni roll in it, and she really enjoys the smell, but most of them not. But researchers, when they want to get really good identifying shots of leopards on camera traps, well, that's what they do. They spray Chanel number 5 on a stump, and the big cats go mad for it. They rub on it. They think it's the best thing in the world. Don't use DKNY or Calvin Klein. No, I'm joking. They do work, but not nearly as well as Chanel number 5. I don't know why. It's probably because it has, originally might have had extract of civet-urea in it or something, but we'll see. I don't know why, but if you want to get a really good shots on your camera trap of a big cat spending a lot of time there, and just spray some Chanel number 5. Now, we're about to go back to Byron with Tingana, but I don't think he's a Chanel number 5 guy. I don't. I think maybe he's clinique happy. Let's go have a look.
Well, Brent, I don't know if I like Chanel number 5 or clinique, to be honest. Oh, you meant the leopard. Okay. I'm not sure what perfume Tingana likes. I must admit, it's the first I've ever heard of that they spray perfume on the traps. Well, these animals are so sensitive to scent. I wouldn't be surprised if they do decide to go and have a sniff around. I wonder. I think Tingana's more of an Armani kind of guy. He hasn't moved much. He's just gone into some long grass, but it is much cooler now. Cindy, I'm not sure. You asked if leopards would eat cooked meat or if they'd only eat raw meat. Well, I don't know. I don't know of anybody who's ever cooked a steak for a leopard and lived to tell the tale. I wonder. I don't think so. I think they only eat raw meat carcasses that they find. I don't think they'd potentially go and look for. I mean, how would they find cooked meat out here other than an animal being caught in a fire and burnt? Then possibly, but yeah, I don't think so. Probably just raw meat, animals that they've killed or carcasses that they've come across. Leopards do scavenge from time to time if they find a carcass. Rebecca, they've tried, I know on a number of occasions, they've tried raising animals in captivity and releasing them again. The one example I can think of that I know was a story many years ago. I think it was in the 80s. And a conservationist, a guy by the name of John Varty, he raised a lion cub that he had found. It was abandoned. He found a lion cub and raised it on Londolozi for a short period of time, and then when it got to a certain age, there was a threat of other lions in the area, so they thought they would take it and try and release it elsewhere. And they did release it. I think he did a good job of trying to raise it as wild as he possibly could. And he released it, but inevitably it was killed by other lions. Now that's the thing. Once a lion or an animal has been raised in captivity, if it's returned to the wild, the chances of it surviving are very, very slim, because other animals will excuse me, sorry. Other animals will potentially kill it. So I don't know of any successful, and when I say successful, a legitimate successful story of an animal being raised in captivity and released into the wild. You could possibly do it with birds and that perhaps, but I don't think some of these big mammals, and especially the predators, I don't think they would survive, because they're just not made to be bred in or raised in captivity. And once they are, I think the understanding of nature and wildlife and that learning experience from a young age isn't there. They are very vulnerable when they are released. You kind of hear of stories, and there was one story, I think it was Tristan the lion, many years ago. I think two guys in the UK bought a lion in Harrods, believe it or not, in the 60s or 70s. And they released this lion later in, well, they say the wild. I don't think it was, to be honest, because, and again, there are probably many different sides of the story, but I don't think it would have survived in the wild if it was released. And they came back years later and it apparently recognized them. I must be honest, I'm always skeptical of stories like that. Are they legitimately released into a completely wild environment, or are they large enclosures where they are being held separately from other animals, other lions or leopards or whatever the case may be? I think that sometimes happens. And yes, of course they'd survive. There's nothing there to harm them. Also with the big lion recognizing them, I don't know, and everybody said watch the video and you'll see. Yeah, I'm still... And the reason why I bring it up is because, you know, I don't believe in a lot of these places where they have you have the opportunity to pet animals, and you have opportunity to get up close and touch a wild, not a wild, but a hand-reared leopard or a lion, because often those animals are hunted once they get to a certain age. We know that for a fact. So I'm very skeptical about them, and also most incidences with animals attacking people happen at those places, because these are still wild animals and they will still react. If they get a fright or if they feel threatened, they will still react. So it's just something I'm very skeptical of, and I'm very careful of it, and some people might not agree with me, and that's okay, but that's just my opinion. Sorry, it was Christian the lion, not Tristan. Tristan's coming back from leave tomorrow. Yeah, I'm sure maybe Tristan will give me a hug. Yeah, he doesn't seem so aggressive. It's like a big teddy bear, really. I think we should tell him that tomorrow, see how he feels. Tristan the teddy bear. Alright, well, you know what, I'm still going to be patient and sit with this leopard. It has got cooler, so let's hang around a little bit longer, and let's head back to Jamie and find out how her afternoon is going.
I think that's sorry, fly in my mouth. I think that's a very good idea, Byron. I think patience is going to pay off, and perhaps you'll even get a few deep leopard sores from Tingana as it starts to get cooler. My plan is to start heading towards the Nkuhumas. I'm hoping that all of the other vehicles will have had their chance to see them and go past them along that main road, and that as it starts to get cooler and darker, when the lions, there's a good chance the lions are going to be up and moving, we'll be there to follow them. So that's what my plan is for this evening. It also looks as though it's going to be quite a cloudy, quite a turbulent evening. There's clouds slowly but surely blowing in. Oh look, there's our bushwalk team. I was just wandering in this direction just to see if I could give them a hand with whatever was causing those alarm calls. Let's go and say hello. There you go, you get to have your first proper view of Fergus as well. Hello.
Maybe wants to know what you're doing here.
What am I doing here?
Maybe wants to know what you're doing here. Trying to steal our alarm call.
I'm trying to steal. That's exactly what I'm trying to do, Herbie.
Herbie thinks you're up to.
I
Trying
lost-
to steal our alarm call.
I lost a leopard, so now I'm trying to steal yours.
Which leopard did you lose?
Tingana.
Oh.
Rusty stopped working. Nothing. I haven't picked up on any tracks. Maybe a bird.
I don't think so.
There's
Snake.
Because
although in Parley were with the monkeys, they seem pretty chilled. But there's a nice herd of elephants.
oh, cool.
If you go down and around in the drainage line in front of Gallagher.
Okay, wonderful. Thank
While we
you.
were trying to run there, they were just in the way.
Ah, yes, that must have been. Hello, Herbie.
He's looking guilty, Jamie. He's looking guilty about saying you're trying to steal.
I'm trying to steal your sighting. It's exactly what I'm trying to do. Remember?
Imagine how upset you're going to be if you drive down here and there's a leopard sitting at Gallagher.
Ah ha ha. Then I will laugh.
Oh.
Remember when we ran for Hosanna that time?
Ferg, I think, has done his fair bit of exercise for the day.
Yeah, it's been
It
good.
was a good
Oh,
two-step.
poor Ferg trying to hold the camera up to you.
This is the joy of some of the cameramen have quite a bit of trouble.
Shame.
To get eye line with me, Ferg's got to get those muscles going. But I think it's only Jandra and Brian were the guys tall enough to
Yeah.
stare me in the eye. Anyway,
I think that's why Ferg and VM like to walk with me.
Yes.
Good foot
And
shorter.
James.
Alright. Okay, I'm going to go find your leopard for you.
Yeah, are you gonna go?
I might go there. I'm just going to wait till it gets a bit cooler for those lions.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye, Herbie. Watch, I'll find the leopard. A healthy dose of... Herbie is clowning around this afternoon. He does keep us laughing. But a bit of healthy competition is always good for all of us. And we might just pop around, just poke our nose towards Galagopan. You never know. We could get lucky and there could be a leopard there. It would be very highly entertaining, Craig. Craig, if we find the leopard now, we have to walk back into camp with the biggest smiles on our faces. Pardon?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay. Craig is in agreement. That is what we shall do. They'd be terribly upset with us. Oh, there you go. You've all had an opportunity to meet Fergus, sort of. He was trying to hide behind the camera for most of that, I noticed. But that was Fergus. Obviously, yesterday we did welcome him. No, jeepers. It wasn't yesterday. It was quite a while ago that we welcomed Fergus into the Wild Earth team. It must be about 3 days ago now. Either way, we're excited to have him on board, and thank you to all of you for being so incredibly welcoming as you have been. Let's just check this termite mound very carefully. Of course, the wonderful news from this morning's sunrise safari was that Hosanna and Shongile are back together again. And Senzo and I spent the entire morning entertaining ourselves, imagining the conversation that must have happened between the two of them as they caught up with each other. And sort of obviously there must have been the moment of relief. And yes, I know, it's utter nonsense and it's anthropomorphizing enormously. But the conversation that happened in my head was highly entertaining, and it involved Shongile telling her brother all about the giant terrapins that she caught, and then of course the crocodile that she tackled and dragged out of the waterhole, because of course they're siblings. They have to exaggerate. They have to. That's part of the whole way of things. I could imagine them questioning each other. Where have you been? What have you been up to? Anyway, that was what I occupied myself with this morning on our drive, was imagining exactly what Shongile and Hosanna were saying to each other. I'm sure there was plenty of exaggeration. Right, come on, leopard. Galagopan, leopard? Nope. let's just check around the corner for these Ellies, and then we'll go to the lions. It's going to get dark quite early this evening, I think, with all of this cloud cover. Now, Han, while we look at an animal that would fall prey to both leopards and lions, Han would like to know whether or not lions would hunt and eat leopards or just scare them away. Han, if a lion can, it will catch and kill a leopard, but not for food reasons. It might nibble off the leopard a little bit, but chances are it will leave the carcass once they've caught it. So really it's to remove competition. Competition for animals like these in Nyala. It is just natural instinct, and there's absolutely no reason to judge them for it or judge them by human standards. They do what their instinct tells them to do. In the case of the Nyala that we're looking at now, they'll hunt it. In the case of a leopard, or a leopard chasing a cheetah, or a cheetah attacking a serval, predators kill other predators. Hyenas killing leopard cubs. It is just one of those things. Oh, we've seen kudu, now we've seen a Nyala. And I could actually still hear those monkeys. I just heard the faintest sound of one of them. But there's an Ellie coming. Oh, goody. That's lovely. Maybe this Ellie will come, maybe it's coming to have a drink. I can hear a squirrel as well, you know. Let's back up a bit, because I think these Ellies want to come to the water. Oh, sorry, Craig. That was my fault. Let's back up a bit and see if they want to come to the water, because we're going to struggle to get out of their way around that corner. Still hear a squirrel as well. Hello, Ellies. Oh, it's a really nice big herd on their way. How lovely. Let's stop here. That should give them plenty of space to come past. Hello, guys. One of the tricks with elephants is let them come to you rather than the other way around. You can approach them in the vehicle. You can still hear those monkeys. I think sitting here for a while is a good idea. We get to enjoy the elephants and we get to monitor the waterhole, just in case a leopard decides to make an appearance. Though we were talking about letting elephants come to us, you can drive up to them, but you'll find with any animal out here that if they've been the one to make that decision, if they've been the one to approach you, they're always that much more relaxed. And especially with elephants, like today when we had to drive very rapidly off the dam wall this morning on the sunrise safari, being in their way is generally not a good idea. You've just got to make that little bit of space for them. They're very good at squeezing past, and you've just got to have the respect to give them the right of way. I'm just going to settle here for the moment and observe the elephants and wait for them to pop out. While we do that, let's go and find out what the walking team has planned.
No, this is getting too much now. These monkeys alarm calling. So we checked that whole side. So maybe they're alarm calling it something this way. So we're going to go back down towards the dam cam, and hopefully whatever they're alarm calling might even be in camp. I mean, it could be a snake, but it's unlikely for them to alarm call over such a lengthy period if it is a snake. Now, of course, everyone got to meet Ferg, and you can see he's holding like this now at the moment, so to try keep up eye level with me, doing a fantastic job. But see, you know how you play with new camera when you start doing this? Ah, sneaky. You just start speeding up the walk, and you can see Herbie. So we're taking a shortcut between the lodges here quickly. So of course there's a fence around the lodges that doesn't stop a leopard. A leopard will leap over that. I've seen Krula leap over it many times. I've seen her inside the fence. So what? We know Tingana's there. We know Hasana and Shongile are way down south. What could these monkeys be alarm call? Well, what do you think it is? Hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. It's a drone. It's not one of ours, it's one of the landowners. But I suddenly heard, and I thought, there's bees here somewhere. Now we've got a car going, a drone going. I'm just trying to hear. There's still alarm calling down there. Monkey, monkey, monkey. You are making me walk around in circles. Now, this little access road here, which goes between the Mormon's house and the lodge, you would think, because it gets quite narrow at a stage, nothing would ever use it. But lion, leopard, hyena, wild dog, elephant, buffalo, hippo, all, I've seen all in this tiny little section here. Now, the one day actually, when our old final control used to be behind the Mormon's house, this is the path from the DRC. And who was walking? There was Scott. And he got to about here and he was chatting to Nikki. Yada, 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 yada. Oh, leopard. And Karula was lying in this marula tree right here while they were on their way to final control. Just watched them walk past. Okay, so we're going to keep going. Oh, we'll wait for the car to go past. Okay, so we... Hello! Very well, and yourself? Yes, we're live. There's monkeys alarm calling in camp, so I've been literally walking around and... Yeah, I think it might be a snake, but it's worth having a check. So this is our second loop around camp. Second so far. Okay, no, I definitely won't do 7. Cheers, Yuri. So that was Yuri, of course, the owner of Juma. He says we mustn't do 7 circuits, otherwise the walls fall down. Of course, that's a biblical reference, Jericho. Yes. Oh, wow. I don't know where I remembered that from. Oh. Michelle guessed it was an African unicorn messing with the monkeys. Now, I wonder what that could be, Michelle. I've never seen an African unicorn. But that reminds me of a very cool story that I only actually found out recently. So, I have a love of general knowledge and trivia, and I read a lot. And I've recently discovered some trivia shows, and I really like them. Probably a little bit too much. But I learnt on one of these trivia shows what the national animal of Scotland is. Fergus, that's a good Scottish name. Do you know what the national animal of Scotland is?
I believe it's the unicorn.
It is indeed the unicorn, because that is the mythical enemy of lions. And of course, the Englishmen, the English, Richard the Lionheart, the English emblem on their flag is a lion, or on their coat of arms. So the Scots had decided, I think it was a long time ago, it was 13th or 14th century, that they should make their national animal a unicorn because it was going to kill the lion. I found that very interesting. Okay. The monkeys are right inside Juma, which is just behind us here. But at least Byron is still with the magnificence that...
We are indeed, Brent, but good luck. You never know. I mean, you know better than anyone. Like, monkey's alarm calling usually a good sign that there's possibly another predator around. So maybe you get lucky. Tingana, unfortunately, has not moved yet. Still very comfortable, and also because it's cooling down now, I think he's really happy. He's still conserving his energy, and he's probably going to move a little bit later. I'm not sure. It's always difficult to say when they are going to get up and move, but we sitting patiently and waiting, and we'll find out what happens. You can see his breathing has slowed. Now earlier, remember when it was much warmer, he was panting heavily, but look how much slower his breathing is. So it's a good sign that it has cooled down. The sun has gone behind some clouds. There was a cool breeze earlier, but it's still a bit muggy. I suppose that's the best way to describe it. But not nearly as hot as it was with the sun beating down on us. Fortunately, it's gone behind some clouds. It doesn't look like there's many flies bothering him as much anymore. His head hasn't lifted for quite some time, so he is resting very nicely there at the moment. It's very peaceful here at the moment, sitting next to this little dam. Just off to the left. You can see just off to our left here, there's not many birds calling. There's one or two doves around us. For the moment, I'm sure that some of the other birds will start calling fairly soon. But there's a wonderful reflection on the water at the moment, just off to our left. Look at that. There we go. Look at that beautiful reflection. The clouds and clear skies there. A few clouds, but looks a bit cloudy in the other direction. But this is nice. Very, very peaceful afternoon. I always say, sitting with these predators, it can be very, very calming. They resting, and you've got the sounds of the bush, the birds around us. So there's another vehicle there with other guests that are also trying to see the leopard. So yeah, we're still sitting very happily enjoying this leopard sighting. Hope all of you are too. But you can see, I mean, he's very well camouflaged, and I spoke about it. Was it yesterday on Bushwalk? How the grass has started to change colour somewhat. A few yellows and browns creeping in, so these leopards are starting to blend in even better. But before, the grass was just so long we couldn't see them, but now their camouflage is ideal and it helps them a lot more. Paula, yes, I would say that a leopard is more cunning in terms of hunting because they are solitary. So they've got to work out exactly where their prey are potentially moving. They've got to stalk. They've got to get very, very close. Obviously lions have got their own way of hunting. You know, they work as a pride. They work together, and they'll try and ambush prey differently compared to leopard. But Then also the thing is with leopard solitary, but the other animals like wild dog, they're persistence hunters, so they will act in a different manner compared to lion and leopard, obviously, who are ambush predators. Cheetah again is different. Alright, so I think the leopard are more cunning. Now, speaking about cunning, Brent is trying to be cunning in finding a predator. He's got impala alarm calling. Let's go have a look.
Now, they just started alarm calling and they've gone quiet, but they are focused up the river. So one of the reasons we dashed down here, we're right in front of Vuyatela Lodge at the moment, is that if I was a leopard this time of the day, I'm going to be walking down the edge of the drainage line. And the monkeys are in here, they're alarm calling. There's impala here. Almost. What do you see, Herb? Yeah. So if you can see, they're looking into that thicket there.
Yours crossing into Torchwood.
Now I just want to get Jamie on the radio, because she is quite close to us here. No, they've definitely seen something now. Have you got my binoculars there, Herbie? It looks like it's behind them on Mvubu Road. I just want to check if Jamie's free. Maybe the monkeys weren't mad after all. But these impala, I mean, they're looking. Let's just try, see if we can get another view. I don't want, if it's an unrelaxed leopard like Juma, I don't want to go too close because he's just going to run away. Here we go. There's Jamie. Jamie, what's your position?
On the road at the power line.
Copy. Is Impala alarming and looking north from the Vuyatela Dam? Monkey's still alarm calling. Looking up towards Mvubu Road, but we can't see anything on foot. I don't know if you want to try. Looking now a little bit further northeast. See, the alarm calls are getting more and more intense, but I think there's more impala further away from us. That it's Opa testing his car. Let's just see, there's a bit of a gap from here. Let's just go a little bit further. Now, it could easily not only be a leopard, it could be one of the missing Nkuhuma lionesses. This is such a mystery. It's one of the fun things about being out in the bush, is that you don't always know exactly what's going on, and the fun is to try to figure it out. Now, there were a couple of sort of more serious alarm snorts. I'm wondering if they just didn't get a whiff, a smell of something. Now, they don't normally alarm at people. Another reason why we're not dashing off into that area, in case it is lions, it is getting quite late. Colleen was asking if they alarm at people, and they don't, Colleen. And normally that'd be Holly, sorry. And normally they would be staring at us. But the fact that they're not staring at us and they're focusing to the north, I just wonder if something's managed to sneak past. Now, if only they had been snorting half an hour, 45 minutes earlier, when the light was a bit better. Debbie is wondering, do antelope and monkeys alarm at hyena? No, they don't. It's going to be a cat 99.9% of the time. See, some of those impala are really still staring into that thicket. Now, of course, as I said, just I heard some upset elephants. Keep quiet, buffalo weavers. Man, I'm trying to listen here. But I wonder if they just got a whiff of lion. Now, impalas are not the most trustworthy of the alarm callers. But impalas and monkeys, you've sort of got to believe something's there. And I said, it's getting a bit late. And I'm not going to go crawling around in dark, thick riverine vegetation in twilight. I quite like myself in one piece. I don't need to have a knee gnawed off by a lion. So we're going to slowly make our way back towards the camp. Guys, keep a very close eye out in the Juma camp. There could be something special about to pop up. But while we make our way back towards camp, let's go see Jamie, who's staring at the horizon.
Look at this absolutely amazing view, and I've decided to just stop and take it in for a moment while I try and decide whether or not we should race back and try and follow up on those alarm calls, especially if the impala are already calming down, or if we should go back towards the rest of the Nkuhuma Pride since we know exactly where they are. It's difficult to try and decide what to do, especially since I've just heard that there are buffalo around Gowrie Cutline. I think Brent's right. I think it's the absent Nkuhuma lioness. But you never know. Let's just take a moment to look at the storm that's rolled in over the Drakensberg Mountains, because it really is truly beautiful. That is rain. Come here, rain. Come this way. We could still use you. It's not too late. Look at all the different layers of colours. And it's just completely skimmed past us. And then if we look further to the west, across the sort of western horizon, there it goes. I was hoping at one point it was going to blow across in our direction, but it doesn't seem to be that way. The weather services are predicting that it's going to rain tomorrow. They're about as accurate as I am when it comes to predicting weather. I think we're pretty much in stiff competition with each other. So who knows what will happen. Okay, what to do? It's a long way, you see. I don't know if I'm going to get back towards the lions. I'm really sorry, I didn't hear who I'm sending you across to or what's happening, but I'm going to send you across to someone. It'll be a surprise.
No, you with me, Jamie. So we're still with Tingana. He hasn't moved. He's still lying in the grass. Well, he's moved slightly, but you can see how well camouflaged he is in that long grass at the moment. But he does appear to be getting a little bit more active. And as I said, it is much cooler now, so chances of him moving are hopefully quite good. And also, there we go. That's what we wanted to see with him yawning. Now, yawning is often a good sign that these predators may get up and get a bit active. They're trying to get oxygen into their body, so often with lion and leopard, yawning is a great sign. They might decide to get up and move. It doesn't mean that they're going to get up and walk for ages. They could possibly just get up and move and change position and lie down again. But usually yawning is a good sign. So let's see if he does yawn again for us. Get to see those huge teeth of his too. At the moment he's just flicking his ears. Also see if I'm right about this yawning theory. If they do tend to get up and move, 95% of the time they do. But they could also let you down at times. Pangolin Warrior, you asked why are some cats solitary and others aren't? Well, the main reason would be it is the way they've evolved. They fill a different niche in nature. So they all fill a different role within nature. The solitary cats probably hunt smaller wildlife, whereas the cats like lions that are in large prides, they'll obviously hunt larger animals and larger wildlife. So it's just because they fill a different role. The hunting strategy is different. All of those differences will determine whether those animals are gregarious or in prides or groups, or if they're solitary. Same with wild dog. Wild dog hunting strategy, they need a pack. That's how it works for them, and that's why they're not solitary. A solitary wild dog probably wouldn't survive, or it's very rare to see a solitary wild dog. Cheetah. Cheetahs sometimes get coalitions of them together, but you might find a female by herself. She'll be able to hunt because different hunting strategy. Leopards prefer to be by themselves. Also, if they kill a small antelope like an impala, they don't have to share with anyone else. It's a perfect meal for them. Lions, the pride dynamics, it just works for them. So I would say that the main reason is because they fill a different role within nature. And that is why some cats are solitary and others aren't. Let's see, here's another yawn. Here we go. Another big yawn. Let's see if he decides to get up. No, not interested. Basically just looking at me and saying, oh, you got that wrong, Byron. Let's see, he's definitely more active. His head is up, he's looking around. So, hopefully, he decides to get up and move. Wouldn't it be wonderful if he just decided to give a territorial roar for us? These leopards have that wonderful sawing roar that they give. Have a look what we've just spotted in the distance. There's some elephant moving through. There they go. Just brief view of them moving through the bushes in the back. Let's see if there aren't others following through. That's really interesting. I wonder if they'll come down to the water. Let's see. He's not moving. But we'll see these elephants moving through the other side. Have a look there. There you go. The whole herd moving through there. I'll keep an eye on the leopard for now. Let's see what these elephants decide to do. Hopefully they come down to drink. That would be wonderful. There we go, look at that. Now these elephants are approaching the water, but because we parked here, they just want to see that we're not a threat or any danger, especially with the young elephant. So let's just see how they react. They seem comfortable though. Oh, this is really beautiful. A wonderful reflection too in the water at the moment. There's a little bit of light left. There we go, look at that. This is so incredible. What a lovely sighting. What a nice surprise. You see, I always say this, and some of you watch regularly, I am a firm believer in spending time in a sighting, seeing what happens, and things happen around you, just like this herd of elephant. Now, this whole herd have come down to drink and splash about. It actually looks really inviting. Look how they use their trunks to suck up the water and pour it down their throats. And alright. Oh, now we have a bit of a debacle because Tingana has just decided to stand up and move off. Can't see him now, he's heading off behind us. Let's watch his elephant a little bit longer. I'll keep an eye on him and just see where he goes, because that is just such a beautiful view of that whole herd of elephant drinking. Look how, you see, they're almost just about wading into that water. I wonder if one or two of them will decide to go in a lot deeper. Let's see. Lara, now you want to know what age the tusks first appear? Well, from a young age, from about 3 or 4, you might, and some elephants develop tusks a lot quicker than others, but from about 3 or 4 years old you might start seeing tusks develop. It's hard to say. So from about 3 or 4 years old you'll start seeing little tusks coming through. I'm just trying to have a look where Tingana has gone now. There's another vehicle behind me that's moving, but I don't know if they can see him. Let's just keep watching those elephant for now. I'll try to work out where this leopard's gone. Oh, so it's all happening here. I tell you what, I'm going to move quickly. Nice view of these elephants. I just want to see where the male leopard's gone. Let's have a look where that other vehicle is, if they've seen him, which direction he went. I don't think they had a good view of him when he walked behind them. There he is. Isn't that him there? That's him there. There we go. Found him. It's alright. There he is, sitting in the long grass. But again, look at that camouflage. Look how easily he can disappear. It's a bit tricky. I'll try to see if I can put some light through there. It might be a little bit better. Okay, I'm just going to move quickly. Okay, sure. Cheers. Alright. There's a lot going on now. I'm going to actually drive off and just get another glimpse of Tingana. These other vehicles have just moved past. The elephant, have a look off to our left. They're just moving by. I'm going to try to keep an eye on Tingana quickly again. This is great. This is really, really amazing because there's so much going on. Elephants off to our left, still happily drinking. The leopards lying in the long grass. This is great. Randall, yes, a crocodile would go after an elephant. Whether or not it's successful is a completely another story. I've seen footage, I've never seen it myself, I've seen footage of crocodiles grabbing elephant trunks while they are drinking. And just a brave crocodile. For a crocodile, anything's potential food. That's how you never go swimming where you know there might be crocodiles. However, whether or not they are successful in pulling an elephant down, it's another story. I've never heard of that. But I've seen elephant literally pulling a crocodile out of the water that's holding on by the trunk. I saw a clip recently of that happening. I can't remember where it was. I think it was up in on the Zambezi somewhere. Huge crocodiles there, or actually in Botswana. I think it was in Botswana. With the delta, there's a lot of water around, elephants crossing through water regularly. I've seen a number of times elephants with tails missing up in Zambia. That they cross through the Zambezi, and they cross through some of those larger rivers up in that area. The what's the other one up there? It'll come to me now. But when they're crossing through the deeper water, crocodiles swim past and bite their tails. Sometimes try and go for the elephant, grab a tail, bite the tail off. So I have seen elephants with tails missing before. But for a crocodile to actually kill an elephant, highly unlikely, and I've never heard of that. Wow, Abigail, all the way in Canada, I've never heard of a leopard being able to kill an elephant. Lions, yes, lions have killed elephant before. The younger elephant, not really the larger elephant. The younger elephant, yes. I've never heard of a leopard going for even a young elephant. Oh, I highly doubt it, because I think the herd of elephant will turn and chase that leopard off very, very quickly. But again, I'm not saying it's a definite no, because stranger things have happened in the bush. So I'm not sure, but I've never ever heard of it, and I've never seen it. I've never seen any footage, and I highly doubt it. So I don't think so. It's a no from me, but you never know. You never know. Now, Tingana, I think, is still in there. Let's just try to see if I can put some lights on here. Do you want to put that light on, Senzo? There we go. Now, the problem is driving off-road when the bush is so thick. It's difficult to see some of these branches and stumps. Is he still there? Has he moved? Hang on. Let's just try and get another look at him, see where he's going. It would be nice to be able to follow him for a bit. I don't think I'm going to get through there. Hold on, watch out. Some other branch. Can you see a leopard there, Senzo? Is he still there somewhere? He must have just moved off. Oh, you know what, everyone? I'm not going to be able to follow the huge stumps in front of me that side. There are a lot of stumps around here. And also, you know what? We had such a wonderful view of Tingana. I think to follow him unnecessarily now while he's walking through the bush, potentially trying to hunt, you know, we do have to be sensitive at times, and I'd prefer to be sensitive with some of the animals. Just see if he comes out back onto the road the other way, but he's headed straight through this thick block at the moment. And like I said, we had such a lovely view of him. There's no need to constantly follow him and disturb him if he is potentially trying to hunt. And you know, we don't really disturb them. They are used to the vehicles, but I think to follow him through that now would just be a bit too difficult. We will definitely make too much noise, break a lot of branches. There's no need for that now, especially in the dark. That's often when you can damage vehicles, and you never know what you are driving over. So what a lovely sighting. It was great to spend time with him, to see where he did decide to go. He's heading north, so he's heading directly north from Treehouse Dam. So he's possibly going to stay, well, I say possibly stay on Juma, but as we know, this male leopard covers a huge territory and he'll move around a lot. So chances of seeing him tomorrow are slim. It's not to say it's impossible, but he may stay, especially if he manages to make a kill. Maybe he gets a kill and he puts it in a tree somewhere. Wouldn't that be wonderful? What a way to end. All those elephant coming down to drink, leopard off to our right, elephants to our left. And here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Hey, do you think that was appropriate? Kirsten says, oh dear. Listen, it's funny, yeah. You say it's interesting what prey leopards would choose, and you say giraffe calves are okay, but elephant no. Well, yeah, but you know, I've heard not really down here, up I think Zimbabwe, parts of Zambia. I think leopards going and hunting eland. Now, an eland is the largest antelope in Africa. They're huge. Some of them are bigger than buffalo. But there have been reports of leopards killing younger eland. But I mean, that's amazing, because those are big, powerful antelope. Buffalo calves, I've seen, what is his name? The Anderson male, that massive male leopard, hangs around the northern parts of Londolozi onto Arathusa. I don't know how far east he has come. I've seen him a number of times, and once or twice, well, he was the one who killed a giraffe calf. He also killed a young buffalo calf. So it shows you, and hoisted it into a tree. Now that is amazing. It is really, really powerful for a leopard to be able to do that. You know what, I wonder if Tingana doesn't come out this side. I'm going to have a good look around here and see. I mean, he may have just moved a little bit and gone and laid down again. Or he decided to walk straight through this block and come out this side. Let's see. Beautiful evening now, nice and cool. Finally, I'm really looking forward to winter. I'm looking forward to winter. It's a nice time of year. And Byron's tip of the day. Yes, I suppose I'll have to think of something again. James was giving some tips this morning. All those tips I had given already, so James, we'll have to think of something else. Let's quickly head to Jamie, who's got those lions.
We've got our incredible lions, so whilst Byron thinks of his tip of the day, which perhaps, I don't know, I'm not going to give him a hint as to what his tip of the day should be. He's very good at thinking them up for himself. We've arrived at the Nkuhumas. They've been playing with each other, and they are now on the move along the main boundary between Juma and Simbambili. If they go left, they will go into Simbambili. If they go right, they will go into Juma. Which way are the Nkuhumas going to decide to go? I'm just going to tone down my lights ever so slightly. Oh, you know what I've done, Craig? Oh, I've driven through lion scat. Oh, it's smelly. It is so smelly. Look at this gorgeous family in front of us. And at the moment, they're like the normal Nkuhumas that we've always known. It seems as though they've gained confidence as it's got darker. And they are skipping along and playing in the middle of the road. Whew, that's quite pungent. There we go. There goes our pride of lions. You will notice there's another vehicle in the sighting. They've joined us and they've come to enjoy the lions as well. And I just do need to speak, sorry, I haven't had the opportunity to do so yet, but I do need to speak on the Game Drive radio ever so quickly, if I can disentangle myself from everything else and try and turn it down. Okay, there's one lioness straggling along behind. I think let's go and catch up with the rest of the pride. I can't quite get past until this lioness decides to move. That's going to be the trick. I'm glad we came here. It's so wonderful to spend time with the Nkuhumas again. Alright, girl, I'll stop here. Sorry, this lioness won't let me sidle past her without being nervous. Now, Lionheart, you want to know which one is the floppy-eared cub. Is it not the one on the left? The far left? If I remember correctly, the floppy-eared cub was the tiniest of all of the cubs. And I think that was that one over there. And I'm pretty sure that that one on the right is might actually be the male cub. He just looks that much larger than the others. It's hard to tell though. Obviously it is very, very dark. And I'm going to try and spotlight them just to illuminate a little bit. There we go. I was just thinking, I think we should... the problem with that, we're going to go infrared, but there is obviously the other vehicle with the spotlight. Let's just wait until this other lioness gets up and goes to catch up with the rest of her pride. And then we'll be able to catch up with them. She's just right here on the side of the road. And if I try and sidle past her, I mean obviously my great big head's in the way. I think I'm going to make her very nervous if I try and sidle past her now. So I'm just going to let her wait a second and get ready to move. The pride's all settled down in the middle of the road. Isn't that stunning? Come on, girlie. We'd like to squeeze past if that would be okay. I'm just trying to disentangle my game drive radio, sorry. It's caught on my binoculars and this is not working out so well for me. Urgh. Cables everywhere. There we go. Let me just illuminate her a little bit. If any station can copy me, the Nkuhumas are mobile north on Triple M, north of Simbambili Arathusa cut line. There are 2 northern stations here. Sorry everybody. Getting my head in the way. It's a bit tricky when she's so close to us. I wonder if we can squeeze past her. No, I think we can wait patiently and then we'll switch to infrared once we get closer. I can hear her breathing next to me. Oh, tackled! Grabbing mum. Imagine this experience for the guests in the vehicle. Imagine what this must be like. This is your first time that you've ever seen a lion. And you've got them right here. There we go. I'll light her up. You've got them right next to the vehicle. A whole pride of them. Cubs playing. Lionesses tensed and coiled, looking at each other. Planning for their night ahead, I imagine. 1, 2. No, there's definitely only 4 lionesses here. I was just doing another head count in case. Okay, my girl, I'm going to try and sneak past you. Perhaps we'll try on that side of the road rather than on the road itself. Let's try and get past her, then we'll be in a good position to see her. Bet you it's Amber Eyes, straggling. Now, Oya, there's a very, very good question, and I apologize. I should actually have explained. Of course, she's up now. I should actually have explained this almost immediately. You want to know if the light doesn't disturb them. The answer is no, but we are very careful about the way in which we do it. So they have, lions, or all nocturnal animals, have a reflective layer at the back of their eyes, known as the tapetum lucidum, and it's particularly well developed in our nocturnal animals. A lot of animals have it, but it's particularly well developed, and what it does is it basically reflects the light rays back so that it doesn't in any way impact their vision. So it's not in any way, sorry, I'll just go a bit slowly so that I don't disturb her. It's not in any way dazzling them in the way that it might a human being. And you'll see that, didn't you see the way that the eyes shone back at us when we shone the spotlight? If you shine a light on a human being's eyes, that will not happen. But it does happen with these guys. And that's the way in which they cope with it. However, We don't shine the light straight into their eyes. Girl, there we go. We bounce it off the ground next to them. So with the spotlight, which is quite an intense light, we've got nice diffused light on the side of the vehicle, but with our spotlight, you'll see how I put the spotlight down below her and basically bounce it up onto her so that you can see her illuminated in that way. If these lions started to hunt, then we would switch off all of our lights. And we are actually ultimately going to do that in a few minutes because these lions are going to start hunting. So we'll switch to infrared and we will watch them hunting without any spotlights. And that's because in that situation, absolutely, we could disturb them. One, we could give away their position to the antelope or whatever else they're hunting. And two, the other thing that we could do is potentially dazzle the antelope. And what that will mean, if we did that, is that the poor antelope would be almost completely blind. There we go. So now we've got the opportunity. Let us take off our spotlight and we're a bit closer. We can switch it. Look at that change. Cheers, guys. Enjoy. Are you staying? Oh, I thought you were disappearing. Look at the backs of their ears. How clearly that dark shows up. Oh, there we go. Standing by. That's affirmative. I'm not sure. They're right in the middle of the road for now, looking north. There we go. Look at that. This is the amazing thing about infrared, is that it really truly allows us a vision that we might not otherwise be able to have. And you can see that there's another vehicle approaching. I actually think that that is a civilian vehicle. I don't think it's a game drive vehicle. Okay. Craig, should we try get just a little bit closer to them? Here we go. Let's just squeeze in here. There we go. That's about as close as I can go without the cubs being disturbed. Now, Davina, you want to know if the cubs are old enough to join in the hunt yet. And Davina, the answer is they are, but usually only in a way that messes it up. So we had that amazing sighting with Taylor months ago where the cubs were, and it's actually quite a horrible sighting to witness in a way. The cubs were practicing their skills on a buffalo calf that their mothers had caught. And they clearly didn't know what they were doing, but the instinct was there to jump on the back of the prey. And they were basically practicing. And they had the perfect opportunity to do so, because a buffalo calf is obviously not nearly as strong as one of those big old buffalo bulls. But they're still not yet big enough or strong enough to participate properly in a hunt. However, over the next year or so, their poor, very patient mothers are going to have to put up with the cubs constantly trying to practice their hunting skills and constantly trying to help. And in that way, they'll actually end up messing up several of the lioness's hunting attempts. Standing by? Sorry, everybody. There's two of us here from the north. I haven't heard any other vehicles actually wanting to make their way. Now, AFME, welcome. Sorry, everybody. It's always a tricky experience with lions on a boundary that everybody wants to try and come and see them and I have to juggle different radio channels. So while I do that, looks as though our lionesses are going on to Juma. It seems as though you were watching this in green. Let's go and have a look at something else green.
Something else very green, Jamie. You're right indeed, a chameleon. Look at that. He's just hiding. He's looking directly at us. It's tricky to spot when they head on like this. You can see that little prehensile tail at the back. Sorry, I'm shaking a little bit. It's my nerves. Trying to hold it dead still, but that prehensile tail curled around. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at there. You can see him clearly. See that beautiful tail? Curled around and hanging onto those branches. The flap-necked chameleon. It's always great to see them. See those eyes moving around independently. Panoramic view, that's what it's called. The ability to see around and still have a clear picture of what is around them, which I find fascinating. Really amazing. If we zoom out, you'll see he's really well camouflaged. As we come out slowly, you see how far in he is. Zoom out, not change focus. Look, he's right in the middle of that tree at the back there. Look at that, there he disappears. There we go. I know all of you enjoy the chameleons as much as I do. It's always nice to spot them. And I always feel like when I do see one or find one for guests, I kind of feel like I'm doing my job properly. It's funny, there's certain things. As a guide, I'm going to take the light off him now there. We'll leave him alone. But look at that. It's quite far in there. See? Right at the back. So, as I was saying, as a guide, there's certain little things that it's nice if you do, then the guests think, well, maybe he does know what he's talking about when you are guiding them. Finding a leopard is one, obviously, but a little chameleon. Bobby, the chameleons do indeed lay eggs. They are reptiles and they do lay eggs. Often what they'll do is they climb down and they'll dig little holes and they bury their eggs. That's where the eggs hatch underground. So they do indeed lay eggs. See what else we can find. But what a wonderful day so far. I mean, we've had elephant and we've had giraffe and zebra and leopard and lions. That's an amazing afternoon. Really, really amazing afternoon. So we're very fortunate. Oh no. I think I see a bush baby. Oh, it's far. Let's see if I can get there quickly. Hold on. I think I spotted a bush baby. Try and get there quickly. See, I mean, it's always great to find a bush baby. In these trees here somewhere. There he is. Through there. Sensor in the middle of the spotlight. Can you see? Hang on. There he is. It's just in there. There it goes. A little bush baby. Oh, where'd he go? Still got him there. Oh, they're so quick and it's hard for us to keep on him. I don't know where he's gone now. Hold on, let me just try reposition. Sometimes just catching the eyes. There might be a few around here. I think he moved all the way to the back there. Jumped on a branch at the back. It's a little bit far for us now, I think, to get on camera. Let's just see, hang on. There's sometimes more than one around. There it is. Oh, some flies. These little creatures are so agile and they jump and move around so quickly. Oh, I think they've just moved off to the back there. Just a quick little glimpse of a bush baby. But as I said, very agile jumpers and climbers. Turn around here. Nah, I think they're gone. They are gone. Alright, let's head back to Jamie. Those lions are still enjoying the warmth of the road. Let's see what else they get up to.
I'm very sorry, everybody. I'm right in the middle of a conversation. Now, come along WildEarthTV access towards the gate, or if you're on Buffels or Cut Line, come down along WildEarthTV access and just see whether or not you pick up on any sign of the fuzzies there. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, everybody. I'm just busy chatting to some of the other guides because the adult lionesses have actually moved off. They've moved off towards a little bit further to the east. And the cubs are all alone for now, waiting to see what the females do. And I'd love to get to where the females disappeared, but I can't because the cubs are all in the middle of the road, so we just have to wait patiently. There we go. Everybody up and moving back towards catching up with the females. And I'm tossing up in my head, trying to follow them or trying to loop around. I know this area, it's a very tricky area. I can hear the lionesses calling to them. Okay, let's catch up with them. This is always an exciting experience in the dark, because you never know what those lions are going to get up to. Sorry, everybody, watch out. Alright, I'm just going to stop here and let one of the other vehicles come past. No problem. How's it? Cheers, guys. Alright, shall we try this, everybody? Let's try it. Oh goodness, this is a bad idea. I think this is a bad idea. I think it's too thick, unfortunately. Robbie, you want to know if all of the lions have black on the backs of their ears? Robbie, yes they do. They absolutely do. And one of the big reasons put forward to them having the black on the backs of their ears is... Sorry, I'm just going to chat to Ralph. Oh no, I'm not. Okay, bye-bye. Is one of the reasons that people think that they have the blacks on the backs of their ears is because black is a color that stands out very clearly in the bush. And so, what that means is that in terms of visual communication, the most important body parts on an animal, their ears and their tails and their facial features. So by highlighting the ears in black, it makes it very easy for other animals to actually be able to see what that animal is saying or what that animal is thinking or doing with its ears. One of the other explanations, which is along a similar line, is that lions actually use that to coordinate their hunts more than we realize. So essentially, I'm going to have to let this other vehicle come past, I'm sorry. Oh, they're still quite far. I'm going to race them to the power lines. This poor civilian vehicle's been sitting waiting for ages, but I'm in a hurry now. Sorry everybody, I'm just trying to coordinate which way those lines are going to go to try and get some of the other guides to go and search in the right places. So while I do that, let's head across to Byron, who can keep you entertained in the meantime.
I'll try my best, Jamie. I'm trying to see if I can find an owl, because Senzo says he hasn't seen an owl yet while he's been on Safari Live. And I love finding owls, so I'm looking very, very carefully for perhaps a little Scops owl or a pearl spotted owl. It would be wonderful to see a spotted eagle owl or a giant eagle owl. Those are much bigger, much easier to see. But I haven't seen or heard any of them for quite some time. I do think they are still around. We didn't have any more luck with those bush babies. They definitely just jumped off and moved into the night. Nice to get a little glimpse of them. Let's see what else we can find. You never know. I mean, we could just bump into a pangolin, perhaps. Wouldn't that be great? Walking along the road. Or a scrub hare. Or what have we got here? We've got little... What is that little guy? That does look like a thickney that just flew off there. Thickneys look like a spotted thickney. Bit larger than the bronze-winged courser. Kirsten says she wants to see a porcupine. That would be great. Haven't seen a porcupine in the Sabi Sands for quite some time. But we do get them occasionally. Or we see their tracks quite often. But to find them, it's quite difficult. There's another one of these thickneys. They often sit in the roads like most nocturnal birds. They'll come and land in the roads to pick up or try and catch some insects that are heading to the road for warmth. Ooh, I saw an eye over there. What does that? I think we had some impala perhaps. We're approaching the clearings now. Let me just double check. A wildebeest. So I'm not going to shine the light on the wildebeest. Just looked like one wildebeest. Possibly a male by himself. There's a bronze-winged courser. Off it goes. You've got to be so careful at night driving around like this. Birds often sit on the ground, so you don't want to injure any of them. I still need to give a tip of the day. No, I'm just trying to think what that tip of the day could be. I know James also mentioned, binoculars are crucial to take on safari, and that is a great tip. And then we did have a question about what type of binoculars to get. So, I mean, there are a number of various brands. I'm not going to go into naming the brands, but I find that you get two types of binoculars mainly. You get, are they bifocal? I think I need to think of the name now, but they're ones that basically what happens is the binocular goes up and then it's reflected through glass and it bends down and then goes up again. It's not straight, so it bends. And then you've got what are called roof prisms. So those are straight binoculars. I find that generally the clarity on the roof prism binoculars, the straight binoculars, are a lot better. So if you are looking for a pair, try and get possibly a pair of roof prisms, and anything around 8x42 or 10x42. Those are generally larger binoculars, but and that's got to do with the optical view. So 8x42 or 10x42, those are generally quite good. 8x40, 10x40, so somewhere around there. Those are ideal for going on safari because you can have a good look at birds and also spot animals in the distance very easily. Kirsten says that's an okay tip. It's an important tip, Kirsten. But we will we'll come up with some others over the next few days. There's so many though, I suppose, that we need to give to all of you. Now, Mohammed, so I'm just scanning around here. There's a lot of impala and wildebeest out on the clearings at the moment, so I don't want to shine out there too much. You asked some of the most common nocturnal birds that we find around here. Well, the fiery-necked nightjars, those little nightjars, they're very well camouflaged little birds that sit on the road in the evenings. Those, the thickneys, so the spotted thickney, or the water thickney, those two birds. The bronze-winged coursers, we've been seeing a lot of them. And let's listen carefully. We'll try to turn the ambient up, and in the distance, you might be able to hear a scops owl. Did you hear that? Grrr, grrr, in the distance. That's a scops owl. So you get scops owls, pearl-spotted owls, spotted eagle owls, giant eagle owls. See, a lot of those names are quite confusing, but there's a number of different bird species like that. A lot of owl species, white-faced scops owls, barn owls. So those are the nocturnal birds that we see, I wouldn't say regularly, but those are the nocturnal birds that are in this area, and that you're most likely to find while driving around. But especially those nightjars, the thickneys, and the coursers, you'll definitely see some of those. Some bugs being attracted to the light over here. Right. Okay, now I think that's just about it from us. Let's head back to Jamie, see if those lions are still here and where they moved to before the end of the show. Goodbye, everyone.
Our lions have completely disappeared. They have completely vanished. I think they must have gone into that dense vegetation and then just sat down. But there is some very, very dramatic weather happening across the skies to the west of us. And every now and again, if we're patient enough, hopefully, we'll see a flash of lightning before the end of our sunset safari. I'm sitting here because this is exactly where the lions should come out. I'm just hoping that patience will pay off. With the lightning as well. Or not. Ah, we just missed one. There was one right in front of me. There's a serious storm over the Drakensberg Mountains. So now we've just got to hope that the lions pop out next to us. Because their tracks haven't crossed this road, they've gone into some exceptionally dense vegetation. But if we don't find them this evening, well then the sunrise safari will be full of potential tomorrow morning, is what I believe. Who knows what it could hold. There was another beautiful flash of lightning. You'll just have to keep an eye on the damn camera. In fact, yes, please do that. Please do keep an eye on the Juma dam camera, because that would be hugely helpful to us in terms of keeping track of where the lions end up and what they end up doing. Unfortunately, though, that does bring us to the end of our sunset safari. So a big thank you to Craig for all of his wonderful camera work. Thank you, Craig. And thank you to Kirsty and to Alice in Final Control, who do a marvelous job of somehow keeping all of us under control. And you can imagine, between Brent, Byron, James and myself, they seriously have their work cut out for them. Most importantly, a big thank you to all of you. If a lion crosses behind me in the next 10 seconds, I will eat my own hat, but it is a possibility. I will see you tomorrow morning on the sunrise safari, and perhaps we'll unfold the mystery of the Nkuhumas. Bye-bye, everybody.